Hello everyone! In this video, you're going to learn about the Bill of Rights and how it makes a big impact on our lives every single day. So, what is the Bill of Rights? Well, the Bill of Rights is the name for the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. The Bill of Rights is a special part of the Constitution. The first 10 amendments are pretty important. They define so many of our freedoms and liberties. There were many people in Congress who wanted the Constitution to guarantee our rights. Rights are privileges and freedoms that people deserve. They wanted to clearly define our freedoms so that people would feel safe. The government has a lot of power. The first 10 amendments guarantee and protect our freedoms by limiting the power that the government has to do certain things. They also make sure that the powers that are not given to the government in the Constitution belong to the people so long as they're not against the law. Let's look at the 10 amendments one by one. The First Amendment. The First Amendment gives us the freedom of speech, freedom to practice whatever religion we want, freedom of the press, and freedom of assembly, which means the freedom to gather together. The Second Amendment. The Second Amendment gives us the right to bear arms. To bear arms means to carry a weapon. This has been granted to enable us to defend ourselves. The Third Amendment. The Third Amendment guarantees that the United States can't put troops and soldiers in people's homes without their consent. This was an important amendment when it was signed because during the Revolutionary War, the British soldiers were forced into people's homes, even if they didn't want them there. The Third Amendment made sure that would never happen again. The Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment says that the United States government can't unfairly search or take property from people. For example, before a police officer can legally search a home, they have to have a warrant from a judge. A warrant means that the judge agrees that the police should search that person's house. This amendment protects your private property from getting searched or taken without good reason. The Fifth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment gives people the right to stay silent in court if they decide they don't want to testify. When people don't want to testify, they can say, "I plead the Fifth." The Fifth Amendment also gives people the right to fair treatment in court. The Sixth Amendment. The Sixth Amendment guarantees that people have a speedy and public trial. This means that, under normal circumstances, the government should not put off the trial and should bring the trial in a fair amount of time. The Sixth Amendment also gives people who are accused of a crime the right to have a lawyer. If a person can't get a lawyer on their own, the government has to provide one. The Sixth Amendment also guarantees the right to know what crimes they're accused of and to speak face-to-face with the witnesses that are accusing them. The Seventh Amendment. The Seventh Amendment guarantees that people have the right to be tried by a jury in civil cases. A jury is a group of regular citizens that decide a case instead of a judge and sit in the courtroom in a place called the jury box. The Eighth Amendment. The Eighth Amendment ensures that the court's decisions are fair and just. The Eighth Amendment protects people from punishments that are cruel and unusual. The punishment must be reasonable for the crime. The Eighth Amendment also protects people from excessive bail. Bail is a payment people can make so that they can go home while they await trial. The Ninth Amendment. The Ninth Amendment says that the Constitution doesn't list all of our rights. We have rights that aren't explicitly listed in the Constitution. For example, you have the right to build a sandcastle on the beach or in your garden. If you want to play in the rain, you have the right to do so. It doesn't say that in the Constitution, but just because it's not in the Constitution doesn't mean it's not your right. You have rights that aren't listed in the Constitution. The 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment gives the power the United States government doesn't have to the states or to the people. Remember, the United States government is a republic. It's a government for the people, by the people. Well, there you have it, the 10 amendments. Feel free to play the video again to refresh your knowledge. Thank you for learning about the Bill of Rights with us today.